all of what we're covering, all of what you're saying, what we're responding to is all important. And we need answers to all of this, definitely. At the same time, I can't help but feel a little bit uncomfortable about the fact that we have been put in a position where we need to focus on this stuff. Because while it is, on the one hand, very important, whether doors aren't locking that should, or whether cops are being given bad orders, that these are only like the explanations for why things happened with an unacceptable status quo. The solution to our problems fundamentally is not doors that lock accurately, and it's not cops that don't get scared at the last minute. It's the kid not having the AR-15. My dream world is not a kid with an AR-15 desperately hoping to kill his classmates who can't open the door briefly. That is not paradise, okay? Because there are windows and there are other doors, there are ways to get into a building. It is not literally a castle or a prison. And like the cops going in 20 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier, still leaves you with lots of dead kids. And again, so we have to focus on this stuff. But also, I don't like focusing on this stuff because better, more responsive, braver cops are not gonna save us. More accurate, durable, more durable doors or more trustworthy, reliable doors are not gonna save us. Kids not having access to weapons where they can gun down dozens of other kids, that is the solution to this problem. And I hate that we've been backed into a position where we are fighting this battle on their turf. Because in fighting for cops to have not made these mistakes, we are implying that cops are the solution. And yes, we do need them at the end of the day, considering the fact that there are guns everywhere to go in, but the gun shouldn't be there in the first place.
I got a lot of people mad at me yesterday for saying that the guns are this problem. And then part of it was like, look at these coward cops. This was the pushback. Look at these coward cops. We can't depend on cops. That's why we need even more guns. So you would agree, since you hate the cops now, defund the police? Isn't it a waste of money? Right? Suddenly you sound like a lib that you hated from a couple summers ago. Suddenly you're woke. Weird how guns will suddenly make you woke, huh? Or your desire to keep and hoard as many as possible is what make you suddenly hate the police. It's weird how these folks turn on police every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you're right, they're turning on them. They're making the argument that no, look, it is totally fine for cops to routinely go up against people that have like devastatingly, terrifyingly deadly weapons. I love cops. Cops are the best, and they should be able to be gunned down by the dozens if a guy has a couple $1,000s and buys the right rifle. That is a really weird position. It's not a position that I have. If you're a cop and you're watching this, why doesn't that bother you? Why doesn't it bother you that they want them to have high-powered rifles with large magazines filled with bullets that can penetrate your body armor? Is that your friend? Is that your ally? It seems like an enemy, honestly. And I get that I'm an enemy because I'm, a bleeding heart lib or whatever, but I don't want you to be gunned down.
Anyway, how dare you, John?
I know, I'm the worst. Now, really fast, just because I want people to stay focused on the actual issue, which is not doors or cops or man traps or whatever they want to talk about. Chris Murphy had a good tweet, said, FYI, this isn't stopping. There have been 18 mass shootings since Uvalde. Remember, we were speculating when doing our initial coverage how many there would be by the next week. Well, there's been 18. You need to know something. You need to know this because it's not gonna stop until we do something. Here's just a sampling of the slaughter. I'm not gonna read all of them because, as we often say on the show, if we were to cover all of the terrible acts of gun violence, that's the only thing that the show would be. But Chris Murphy said last night, 10 people were shot at an outdoor party in downtown Charleston, South Carolina. 4 people are in critical condition. A pregnant woman was one of the victims. 10 people. Didn't hear about this one, did you? And I say to Chris Murphy, yep, no, I had not actually heard about that one. 10 people were shot, including a pregnant woman. And I, a person who's always looking at the news and I'm always on social media, I didn't hear anything about that. Kind of a sick country we've got here, JR.
These are the ones that we're supposed to ignore. These are the ones that are just normal things. But where'd you say that happened again?
That was in downtown Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, you mean it wasn't Chicago, LA, and New York? You mean the way everybody keeps talking? Well, how about those gun deaths in Chicago? If you just take away what's happening in Chicago and LA and New York, we don't have a gun problem. The problem is Chicago, LA, and New York are in America.
Yep.
Let's just change that. Oh, let's have another hypothetical. If we didn't have idiots like you pushing this, we wouldn't have the problem. Let's just eliminate the bad parts about this entire argument. Sure, okay. It happens in every city. It happens in every city. Uvalde is not Chicago. Jesus.
How long are they gonna let the chief just, I got stuff to do. I gotta go, right? Like, and people mentioned, we breezed over it. So you don't have to bring up the graphic if you don't want to, but he was sworn into the city council. So he won an election earlier this month. And it looks pretty bad that while he's dodging the Texas Rangers and reporters, he's like, I got a new position. I'm in government because I've proven that I'm responsible and you can trust me with power. But they did it. They did a little secret swearing in because he had to do this. He had nothing else to take up his time. There was nothing keeping him busy. So of course he could be sworn into the city council.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.